Hi friends, welcome back. I'm so honored that you are here to join me for another video. Full disclosure, this week is pretty crazy. And this is part of the Christmas in July collaborative hop that I'm doing with some of my crafty friends. And we are at week 2. And our focus is stamps. So today, because this week has been a little just hectic and full of flavor, I am going to go ahead and do something very simple today. And I hope that's okay. I am cutting down some of this white Bristol vellum cardstock. Now I used to think that Bristol or that vellum was always that translucent kind of paper, but I guess it's not. And this is called Bristol vellum. It is by Nina, and this is one that I found recently that does a great job for the colored pencils. Probably any colored pencils, but it really kind of helps me lay down the color and not feel like I have to, dig at whatever I'm doing. I'm just cutting these down to what are my normal card base mats, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And so I have 4 of these. I think I'll stick with that. Open my soda. And today I'm going to be using my Misty to stamp my stamps. And I'm going to be using this Sunny Studios stamp set. This is called Scenic Route. And it's got a row of houses, some hills. I think this is a like a string of lights, kind of crosses over itself. There are a couple sentiments, but I'm going to use these 2 big ones today. And I'm also going to be using this Sunny Studios stamp that is the Season's Greetings. And you'll see it has a little wreath on the door. It's decorated with Christmas lights, and then there's some snow in here. And I'll probably add some snow in this these images as well to kind of match this a little bit. But a really simple design. I'm just going to stamp this on the back. I'm going to stamp this and fussy cut it out and layer it up, and that will be my card for today. I'm going to go ahead and lay down some scrap paper just to kind of eyeball where the placement is, just in case there's some ink left on the stamps. I don't want to put the regular paper It's kind of easier to see what it's going to look like when you have the just going to check out where the grid lines are on the door of my Misty. Obviously they don't need to be perfectly straight. It looks pretty good to me. So now I'm going to check. I really want kind of this piece here. Again, I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black. I don't know if you can even see that. Looks pretty good. Just going to go ahead and do one more. Just want to make sure I have it over far enough. I could definitely move these also so they're a little bit more scattered. Let me do that. There we go. See what I did, right? Okay, probably not supposed to do it that way, but it worked out. What I should have done, obviously, is had the stamps in this orientation. And then oop. Hope nobody saw that I just laid my towel in the open ink pad. Not that anybody would judge me. Alright, now these don't have to be straight because I'm gonna fussy cut them. Still want a good impression though. That's decent. this off of the platform. The platform's a little squishy. Give it another shot here. That one looks much better. One more for good measure. Fabulous. Today I'm going to be using my Derwent Inktense pencils. And I am not a professional coloring person. I just lay down some color and highlight it a little with a little darker color sometimes, but really that's about it. Okay guys, I think we're getting somewhere. So I took us forward in time. I completed this part of the coloring and also this little house. And you can see that on both of them, I did a little bit of, I was going to use a white gel pen, but I decided instead of using the white gel pen, I would use the Stardust. I think it's called Stardust. This is a Jelly Roll pen as well. It's just got that bit of sparkle in there. And then I did the same to some of the accents on the trees and houses, and I put a few dots up in the sky. I'm not sure that you can see those. Now I tried to get kind of snowy, kind of green grass, so it looks a little splotchy on the screen, but it doesn't look too bad face to face. So I'm going to do a couple things. First I'm going to fussy cut this guy out. Now, I have 2 tips for fussy cutting. Not that I'm a subject matter expert, but first, the more times you open and close your scissors, the more opportunity you have to make an error, so to misalign or to not get a straight line. And so what I try to do is work my scissors so that I am going to lay the blade kind of just where I want it against the line, the cut line. Let me show you here. Get around this little piece. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. And I'm just gonna get it back as far as I can with the scissor and lay, oh, here. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do is I am going to lay the blade of my scissor right along the line of where I want the cut to be and go to as far in the scissor as I can so that I get as long of one straight cut as possible. And the second tip that I have is that anytime you chop off the line that you were wanting to keep, you just go back with the black pen or whatever color you stamped with, and you can usually even it out a little bit. And then of course you can do something like I did here, which is I chose an image that didn't have a lot of flair, so it really is mostly some straight lines and a couple curves, and that's it. So there's that guy. Put him aside. I already have an A2 card base all ready to go in white. And I decided that I wanted to mat this on some red cardstock just because there are these tiny accents of red in this image that you don't really see, but when you put it against the red cardstock, it kind of pops them out. It brings them to the forefront a little more. So, first thing I'm going to do is make sure I understand how big this is. And so this is definitely, this is A2, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then this is 4 by 5 1/4. So I am going to cut 1/4 inch off of the bottom and the top, or the bottom and the side. It's the great thing about having a trimmer that has the lines on the other side as well, is that you can line up your paper whichever direction feels more natural in your hand. So there's 1/4 inch. And take 1/4 inch off right here. So now this is 3 1/4 by 5. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and cut this to be 4 by 5 1/4. So now nobody move. Okay, so I have some scraps from some other projects that I thought I would take a look at as far as the sentiment is concerned. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, just right across the front here. Going to kind of eyeball what it's going to look like on top of this. That's just how I want it. So before I cut off these guys, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Then I am simply going to take my scissor, cut this off, and this one as well. Need a little more. So there's that. And that gives us a little bit of dimension, but I think we're just going to go ahead and pop this little house up right here on the foam. Now there are plenty of times when foam tape is just the easiest and right thing to do. Lately, I've been doing a lot more layering by just putting layers of paper beneath different things, which is great if you're die cutting or punching something. But sometimes foam is the fastest. And sometimes you buy this giant thing of foam and one day you want to finish it before it dries out. So that's also a thing. And what I'm going to do with this little guy is I'm going to go ahead and kind of lay it, I'm going to put it in the middle-ish. And then I just laid it just a little bit over the top here to give it some, like a little more of the idea that it's in the forefront of the entire design. And now I'll glue this down. So like this is just a tiny bit wonky, so. So week 2 of our Christmas in July hop really is about stamps, and I think these little images definitely tell a story about a community that is getting ready for the holidays, like getting some decorations done. I know this was a simple card. Stamping and coloring is not magical, but it is fun and it is satisfying sometimes. After, you know, what I was talking about, you know, that I was under a little bit of stress, that things were a little hectic, just sitting down and coloring really kind of cleared my mind, and that was great therapy. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And don't forget, safety first.